Are you a victim of your own mind? Does your mind stop whenever you want to, or it just moves on its own? And sometimes may even be thinking negative stuff that it hurts. And you don't want to think it. Maybe it's a memory, or maybe it's just hate towards someone, or frustration, or some disempowering thoughts. But you can escape your mind. So you may have tried to fix the problem by understanding your thoughts and trying to change them, but it just doesn't work. It still triggers that emotion, and the whole thing just goes again. Or you may have found that many times the only way you can get out of the trouble is by watching a movie, scrolling social media, hopefully going for sports, or doing something, just going with people, just doing something to distract yourself from the problem. But still, as much as that may work, may make it stop for a while, that voice is there when you're resting, when you're relaxed, when you're distracted, suddenly it just crawls back into your mind. Your mind overthinks, thinks more than you should. You can't stop it. It's just like an illness, right? Well, it doesn't have to be like that. The natural state of your mind is like, for example, your hand. It only moves whenever you need it to move. If you don't have any problem or like any kind of special illness, or if you're not a 3-year-old kid, your hand, whenever you're paying attention, let's say to a movie or just reading, your hand is resting. And only when you need it to grab something, it moves. And if not, it stays. You can move it in many ways. But if you want it to move, you don't need it, it stops. Well, the same possibility is there for your own mind. But in order to make that work, which I'm going to be explaining you later in the video, you first need to understand what the heck is happening. Why you, a smart person, probably been working on yourself for a long time and tried every formula and everything you have seen, you still find trouble managing your mind. Like these thoughts come and you can stop the emotion, and the emotion reinforces the thoughts, and the thoughts reinforces the emotions. And even you are a sensitive person. Hopefully at this point you understand that it's really not about the situation that is causing you that emotion. It's more about your thinking that is recreating that emotion. Good for you if you get to understand that. That is very empowering and liberating, because now you can turn your attention and really start working with yourself, which will change your experience completely. But still, it's problematic because you notice sometimes when you focus on the behavior of your own mind and your emotions, as much as you want, you have the best intent in your heart, but still, you're still not behaving properly. You're still thinking thoughts you don't want to think, and they come back. And as much as you try, as hard as you try, it just seems to make it worse. Well, the reason why this is happening, it is because imagine an iceberg, and the top of the iceberg is like you are aware of what's happening in your mind. But what you certainly have to understand, there are a lot of unconscious processes happening in your brain and in your mind all the time that you're not aware of. And that is obviously the place you have to go to look for what's happening. Psychology is called the unconscious mind, but in meditation, you wouldn't call that, because you can be conscious of it. So it won't be unconscious anymore. So it's just a matter of language. But just to probably, hopefully, you are familiar about that already. So you see, there's this shadow. There is this thing in your back you can get out, and you know it, and you notice it, and you feel, and you notice these thoughts, and yet you cannot stop it. Well, you have to look in these deeper layers of your mind that are not evident to you right now. And you say, okay, fine, you got me. How do you do that? How can you see something you don't see? How can you become aware of something you are at this moment not aware of? How could you do that? Well, the missing piece is something that is basically practice. So as much as you may find this video entertaining, and it can be enlightening, like in pointing, But the way you're going to accomplish this mastery of your own mind is actually by practicing it. So, why do you have to practice? The thing goes like there is this profound traumatic disruption in your mind in the deeper layers. But why you cannot deep your conscious mind into it? Well, it is based on distraction. It is based on the way you perceive the world. So you need to shift that. You need to shift that in a way that everything is just calming down. Another way of saying this is by what you're actually doing is calming yourself by layers. And this is the part where becoming technical with meditation is so crucial. And I always emphasize reading books like The Mind Illuminated by Chuladasa or The Attention Revolution by Alan Wallace, because these are just strategies and paths. You can find others, but these ones are really, really specific. And I'm going to be here supporting you if you have any question with that. So basically, what you learn to do is, for example, if you're out of control, imagine this negative emotion, these negative thoughts are hitting you, your mind is out of control. What do you do? First thing, what is the most external part of your nervous system? Your body, right? So by controlling your body, you can start releasing layers of problems with your mind, of undesired activity in your mind. And this is obviously the principle of yoga. That's why the yoga poses are made to get you in one position and just feel how your mind is going to resist that. Not your body. Your body in the beginning does, but over time, the yoga poses are actually working on your mind. That's the point. It's not to get a beautiful body and so on. It's because it's actually helping you to tame your mind, to keep it under control in a peaceful and effortless way. But still, it is like, no, like a kid making noise. No, don't do that. You can be calm. You can explain to the kid, no, don't do that. You just don't ignore the kid. You have to do something about it. So if you're suffering, you have to do something about it. Don't expect it to go away by itself. Actually, it's just going to grow like a bad weed. So going back to the process, first thing I suggest you, if you're out of control, you find, yeah, this thing happened and I'm overwhelmed and I can't sleep and I have anxiety and this whole thing is just like taking me over. Okay. What I'm suggesting you is like different gradations of level of complexity of controlling yourself. The most important one, most basic one, the external one, just relax your body. If you have bad thoughts about doing something, just don't do it. How you practice that? Just don't do it. You may still have the thoughts, you may still have the impulse. That's okay. We will go for that. But at first, just be a master relaxing your body, relaxing your muscles. Actually, do it now. Notice how there's tension in your body that is completely unnecessary. You didn't choose to have tension in your neck or sometimes in your face or in part of your body. Just the fact you look at it, suddenly you realize, why am I keeping this burden? Well, this is an expression of these deeper layers, but it's getting tighter in the body. So first thing, keep your body relaxed. That will give you a lot more game to start going deeper into what we want to go, because the mind is a way more of a subtle kind of body. It's like a body, but in a way that you cannot really see it. So first thing, calm your body. By calming your body, suddenly you release a lot of access power to your mind. So absolutely do that always. Make it so quickly that in 1 second you can like make the whole world stop in a time. Like, bam. With your body. And yes, maybe work for a couple of seconds and suddenly something inside of you will start just coming back, crawling back to your awareness, like these thoughts about this horrible situation, and you find stress about it and you find your body start reacting to it again. Okay, keep your body under control. Doesn't need to be 100% relaxed. You can't, but nevertheless, you can relax it to a huge degree, and that will help you a lot. Because the next thing is that you have to start not just watching your thoughts. That's a mistake everybody does, and that's the reason why, in many cases, strategies like psychology that are based on giving attention to thoughts actually end up being backfiring, because no, that's not the way you go. What you had to do is, in the same way that you were releasing the lack of control in your body and just resting your body. It's not that you're really forcing your body to stay, you're relaxing your body. You need to do the same thing with your mind. But how you do that? How do you calm your mind? Right? This is the moment you've been waiting all through the video. Well, again, think of your mind as different layers. We talk about the conscious part. There are, I would even put like a line anywhere. Just think of it more like a gradation. But still, for being practical and know where you are, we just theoretically put layers. In the Samatha path of the books that I recommended before, you have stages. And in this way, you become a master. You become a master. You know where's the problem and how to solve it. So, given the situation that your body's calm, you still have this profound restlessness and uncomfortable emotion that may come from very deep in your past, may come from places that you didn't even recognize what it is. You just feel that it's just some uncomfortable sensation in you that is crawling. You don't even know, you don't really understand why you feel like that. That's okay. That's really normal. Just put it so deep inside that you don't even see what it is or what it is. That's okay. That happens to everybody. So what you have to do is little by little, first thing, instead of trying to control your mind, instead of your thoughts, the thoughts are a consequence of something else. So your thoughts cannot really control. But there is something you can, not directly, but you can indirectly control. And it is your attention. That's the way you get to calm your mind. This is very important to understand. So you don't try to change your thoughts. You don't try to think positive thoughts. You don't try to make the whole logic about it. Sometimes that will be useful. But in this case, I'm teaching you the straight, direct way of doing this. So instead of dealing with your thoughts are a consequence of something. What to solve the consequence of the problem. So where is your attention? Can your attention remain still? Can you focus on something, any object around you, and just be fully present with it? Well, I tell you, and you know this, the answer to this. If you're emotionally in a turbulent state, you just won't even for 1 second, you'll be like, oh, but it's gonna, so you feel more like a concentration. I'm not suggesting you to try hard to concentrate. That will be like putting another task to your mind. So it's just creating more stress. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about resting your mind in an object. Try this. Try it all the time. Whatever you're doing all the time, just focus on what you're doing. Always. Don't let your mind pull you into different unnecessary, unpractical directions. Be always focused on what you're doing. And if you're thinking, you have to think for some reason, you do some sort of brainstorming or something like that, pick a paper and write it down. That will help you focus on the thinking. Because focusing on your thinking is too subtle. And that's exactly the reason why you cannot fix it. You cannot really see it. And the reason why you cannot really see the root cause of your thinking, the deep, silent, unconscious, traumatic aspect of it that is generating it, is because your attention is not. Your attention is all over the place. And could you focus it if I don't want to move the camera, but if I start moving the camera like this, you will see like suddenly the whole thing becomes chaos. And actually, it's a very peaceful room and space. But it feels very, very chaotic when you're just moving around. Well, what happens if you're doing that with your attention all the time? Well, this pulling of moving your attention is your thoughts. Your thoughts are pulling your attention like crazy. So if you control your attention, you're going to be controlling your mind. And by controlling, I mean, like you would tell a kid, please stop breaking that toy. And you can explain them. Well, that is meditation. You sit with yourself and bring your attention back. And I know for many of you, especially if you're in a turbulent state, this may feel like too difficult. Okay, in that case, then just go and go for a walk. Maybe that's a great answer actually. Go for a walk, really. Don't stay where you are. Just move, let your body start moving and start immersing your attention in the experience of what you're having. That's a simple way to get you back in your feet. And there's a lot of walking meditations that are used because it's very helpful. So if you feel that your mind is driving you crazy, walk. Go for a walk. And in this walk, try to apply what I'm discussing here. Don't let your mind just keep you absorbed while you're walking like a zombie. No, no. Start telling your mind, okay, now here I'm walking. This is my break. And your mind will still, will still pulling you back. But here's the thing. That's how you let go of this pulling and de-energize this conditioning, by making a decision moment by moment of staying with what is. And many people don't understand that the meaning, the mind, that the meaning of the word mindfulness is actually remembering. And you'll say, what remembering? Well, remembering to be alive, to be here, to be in awe with whatever it is all the time in front of you, without judging, without filtering with your own mind. That's what it means. So that's what you're doing. You're doing mindfulness, you're doing meditation. You're just seeing what it is. And little by little, you get to, this is a very deep, profound process, but you get to release the things that are pulling your attention. I made other videos based on these teachings. I'm super excited. I mean, can you imagine that you would have found a formula for happiness and for living with a peaceful mind? Wouldn't you be excited to share it? Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm super thrilled to help anyone. So yes, there are ways you can do that. And yes, I did it. And yes, many, many, many people did it before me and before you. It's a very simple process of letting go of your mind, but layer by layer. I say this because sometimes meditation is encouraged in a generic, just sit in there and just watch things as they are. And yeah, you'll have no idea what you're doing. If you go to serious meditation, like I'm talking about training, retreat, working with actual teachers, you will see, wow, there's a huge, clear methodology on how to do that. And different teachers, different schools will have different approach, but basically they are giving you the structure, kind of what I'm expecting to give you a little view of this. This thing of observing your mind is not an obvious task because your mind is distracting you. So the tool that you have to fix the problem is already with the virus. So the big idea in this video is you have to calm down your attention. By calming down your attention, at some point you will be able to clearly see and understand the root cause of the thought. It will become apparent to you. You cannot see it because your attention is moving. But when your attention stays still, you will suddenly will be able to read your mind. And you will see the root cause of why you're feeling like that. And when your mind is so restless and out of control. And that emotion, where it's coming, suddenly with your clear vision, you will be able to see your mind. You will be able to see your unconscious mind. You will be able to feel it, to know it. And that will give you an incredible sense of empowering, of freedom. I hope you get what I mean. Please do write me in the comments. The comments are here for you to communicate with me. I'm here talking to you, but I would love to hear the problems you go through applying this. I don't want to throw in here just an interesting video, intellectual thing. I want you to try this. I want you to come back and tell me why you're having trouble with it. And I will solve that for you. Well, I won't solve that for you. I will tell you how to solve it yourself. So, and this is the part of the video where I imagine at this point, this is a long video. So most people will have given up at this point of the video. And here's when I'm going to throw about something that is complex and profound. And most people would just hate me for saying this. It is a hard truth. And it's that we normally think that we are reacting to an external situation. That's what is causing our suffering. But hopefully you've been in the spiritual community and learning about this long enough to realize that that's not the case, but you still experience it like that. Your mind is all the time pointing outside to justify your emotion. You can't help it. Your fears, your sadness, your everything is related to something outside of yourself. But what's happening here is that your mind is playing a trick on you because your mind is activating that chain of reaction in one of these deeper layers that you don't notice. And you can only see the consequence of that. So you find yourself being a victim of your life. You find yourself with without enough money. You find yourself in a relation that is not working. You find yourself in a job you don't want to have. You find yourself in a body that doesn't doesn't work. You know, you find yourself in a situation that seems that something is creating the situation for you, and that's why you feel the emotion. But that's exactly the sweet spot of what I'm saying. And this is the deep knowledge of this video because most people are going to absolutely tune out from this because it puts you in an empowering situation of admitting that you are cooperating with the apparent cause your mind tells you that's the reason why you feel like you feel, meaning you are generating a traumatic experience for yourself all the time. That's why no one can solve it for you. That's why as hard as you try to get out of it, to fix it, to read it, it doesn't work. You need to admit it to yourself. You need to go deep into these layers of the mind with a calm view. If you go there and you just react to that, you're gonna re-engage in this emotional thinking. It's gonna feel worse to think about your thinking. I'm talking about actually seeing moment by moment what's happening and understanding your thoughts as something you're perceiving. They come and go. They're actually just thoughts. They're not truth. They just come, but they also go. What was true yesterday is not true tomorrow. The theories of science that were true a few years ago, right now, there are other theories that are breaking up. So even the most solid empirical knowledge we have actually still goes like that. So your thoughts are even more questionable. So if you look at them clearly with an honest intention to look for the truth, you're going to notice that your thoughts are actually playing a lot of games on you. But they are, when you realize it's not that you are is you versus your thoughts, you're going to realize that your thoughts are just cute. They're powerless. They're like, is this you that you're following them? So going back to the main point of the video, you have to learn to calm your attention by any means, all the time, whatever you do. And I strongly encourage you, if you want to solve the deep trauma, the deep conditioning of your mind, I strongly suggest to do this as a formal meditation, sitting and resting your attention until it becomes still. And yet constantly something will come through it. But yeah, there's a lot of things to say about that, but that's the stages of samatha, and I'm super excited to teach that. Nevertheless, if you want to have a entry point to all this, I made a 8-week course, free 8-week course for you to get into this. So I'm gonna attach the link in the description and follow it and do it, and you will be in contact with me per email. And you can write me all the questions and the problems you find. But I crafted that 8-week process with care, and it works. It's based on a lot of things that works, and I have a lot of experience. I've been working 30 years with this, and I've been helping a lot of people. So I hope it helps you. And if it doesn't, then let me know, because there's something not going wrong. It will help me to fine tune the system so it can help more people. So I hope this video got you in touch to the potential of living a fulfilling life moment by moment, and tap into the natural happiness and joy and peace that is the background of your life, even when you don't notice it. So rest assured that everything will make sense. You're safe. You're free. You're going to realize that you just have a bit more patience and look a bit deeper. Thank you for watching.